Hey, what's up? It's your girl Lily Expressions. Topic today will be about parenting. Now, parenting is the most hardest, rewarding, stressful, emotional job that you'll ever have. I don't care what your profession is, lawyer, doctor, professor, firefighter, policeman. There's nothing compared to parenting. Parenting is a job that you don't get paid for, you don't get to go to school for. There are books out there, but there is nothing more than having a hands-on experience with parenting. I started being a parent at the age of 16. I'm not going to sit here and be like most of these chicks on, blaming mommy and daddy, because it was a decision made at the moment that lasts for a lifetime. Now, parenting requires a lot of occupations that you don't get paid for. You have to be a teacher, you have to be a cook, you have to be a financial planner, you have to be a counselor, you got to be the bad guy. It's so much different things that you have to consider. Once you become a parent, you're at the bottom of the totem pole, regardless or not. You have to, it changes your life. You have to, miss a lot of partying, a lot of, work, that you usually do. You have to plan around everything. You have to make sure that your job incorporates to your child's school, incorporates to time management. Parenting is a lot of time management. I'm not a morning person at all. I hate it. I can't stand it. But when you become a parent, that don't matter. Once the kid, like when baby's born, babies don't know time. Babies don't care. It's a lot to consider. And I'm 27 now, so I'm a mother of two. I just happen to have my youngest with me, because I have some help, but I do appreciate the help, and that's not an excuse to continue to have children, because people just assume you come up with a positive pregnancy test, you're done. Nope, it's just the beginning. You have to look back on your life lessons, because you have to apply them to your children. You got to make sure that they're better than you, but they know that you are head honcho. You have to know that. If not, then it won't work. Parents nowadays, they feel like, oh, well, if I'm my children's friend, they will respect me. You have to have that thin line between friendship and parent, because if you just have the friends do whatever they want, then when they grow up and they're like my age, they're going to be like, damn, I really needed a mother right now, but she was just acting like my homegirl. It's stuff you have to really consider nowadays. You have to watch your actions, because your actions reflect on your children. You have to realize that sometimes, like me, because I am very, very open-minded, I'm very outspoken. There's like so many times that I just want to bite my tongue, walk out of work, not even go to work. I just like today, it's Saturday. I don't feel like going to work. I really don't. I just wish that, a cougar pick me up and just give me thousands and thousands and thousands. I don't have to worry about working. But you got to open up your eyes and realize this reality, people. You got to get up off your butt and go to work, and don't be ashamed of your job. Having a job, a regular job, like Kmart, Walmart, working in a barber shop, sweeping up hair, trash man, even my job working at McDonald's. Don't be ashamed of that. Be proud that you have a job that you can provide for your children. People think that because you have children, you're obligated to be on government assistance. If you are government assistance, you need to realize that that's a blessing. Not a lot of people need to be on government assistance. People take advantage of being on government assistance. They just take that opportunities to, not really pay what they're supposed to, buy what they want, not what they need. and then complain when they don't have it. You have an excuse to have more kids because you just think that if I have more children, then I'll get more money. You know, it's not for the lazy. You have to take it upon yourself. You got to get off your butt and you got to work for a majority of stuff. I worked blood, sweat, and tears. I've lived in rooms. I lived in other people's houses. I'm grateful that I have help, but I do what I'm supposed to do, like get off of work, pay my bills on time, stuff like that. You have to consider that when you're a parent. When you're a parent, it's a very big responsibility. It's not you pop out a baby and it's everybody else's responsibility. You have to consider that you took that moment to lay down, have children. If you were raped or something like that and you chose to continue to have a child, then more power to you. I don't believe in abortions at all. Granted, I had two dumb baby fathers. Okay, that's fine. But I'm not going to sit there and end my kid's life because I chose a loser. Wasn't a loser at the time, but the time has passed. They're born. You have to stick in your place. You have to teach them the difference between right and wrong. You have to make sure that they're not too nice, but you don't want them to be too cocky either. I have two girls, 11 and 6. So I have to sit there and reflect on my life, like what did I do wrong so I could teach them not to repeat it. Being a parent is the most craziest job you'll ever have. You don't get paid for it. You may, at the moment you might not get props for what you do from your own children or your own family or whatever, but when you get the I love yous and the thank yous, and the hugs and the kisses, it's the most, you've done your job. My little Nana, she's 6. We always tell each other we love you. We might roll eyes at each other or whatever, but at the end of the day, I know when she hugs and says thank you that I've done my job, that I've stuck, because I work at this job, and man, I tell you, so many kids that come by, I just be like, you're spoiled as hell. You're 16, driving a car, have this expensive phone, these name brand clothes, and you just act like the world owes you something. Most of these kids nowadays, they get stuff handed to them so much that they don't want to do the work. And then when they come 18, 21, they don't know how to do nothing, because they expect, that everything should be handed to them. You got to work for this world. You have to appreciate who's raising you, whether it be your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, neighbor that might took you in or whatever, a foster parent, adoptive parent. You have to look at who has your back and who doesn't, because people tend to forget that when you grow up, you're going to meet certain people that are not fit for you at the time being. Parents have that good way of figuring out when you start meeting people like, hey, let's go. You're slacking. Your persona's changing, you're not doing your work, your attitude's changing, and you'll get a lot of I hate yous and everything. But then, when time passes by, you're going to be like, damn, I should have listened. You only get one parent. People take that for granted, especially, if their parents are separated or divorced or one dies, or anything else. I know there's a lot of emotional boundaries you have to deal with, considering that I happen to not been raised by my mother, but my grandmother. I've been raised by my grandmother. My dad's been in my life. My mom happens to be not so much. But you have to take the time to realize that people are in your life for a reason and that you need to respect your parents. Granted, you might not get everything you want, but as long as you get everything you need, that is the main important thing that you have to realize. Okay, you might not get the new kicks, you might not get the new phone, you might not be able to go out and party, and get all this stuff that you want, but you got a roof over your head, you got clothes on your back, you got food in your stomach. Your parents always want to make sure where you are. You need to take that into consideration, that most parents don't care. Most parents don't care. Most parents I see around here, they have these kids and they just, they meet a boyfriend or whatever, or girlfriend or whatever, and they just completely forget about their kids. Or they work so much to make sure that they have stuff in the house that they're not going to be around for the kids. The people that work so much that they might not be around, they don't take it that they don't care. Oh, my mom wants to work all the time, or my dad wants to work all the time. They don't care about me. But if they working all the time to make sure that you have stuff for you need, then you need to give them props, because there are so many parents that don't do that. I see these parents walking around and talking to their kids like the crap, like little nigga, little this, oh bitch. I'm like, come on now. They're children. What are you doing? Sometimes you got to take that slang things that you have with your friend and put your parent face on. I can't be walking around, saying, yo, bitch, yo, what's up, yo, you can't be doing that all the time. Sometimes you have to have that professional thing so you can pass that down to your children. You don't want your children to be going up in school or a job acting a certain way, because they're not going to get that certain respect. They're not going to get that job. They're not going to get that opportunity because you're not setting an example. You have to set the example nowadays. It is a new era. There's a lot of crimes going out there. If you're not being the parent, then somebody that's not supposed to be that influence is going to be an influence to your child that's going to bring them down the wrong path. So you got to step up and you got to be a parent. Remember that being a parent, it changes a lot, and you need to learn your roles. You have to tell your children what the real deal is. Don't sugarcoat everything. You can't sugarcoat everything, because sadly this world isn't sugarcoated. This is Lily Expressions, and I'm out. Have a good one.